We're joined on This Week on Iowa with University of Iowa softball coach MARLA Looper. Coach, after the sweep of Michigan State, you have now won 5 straight Big Ten Conference games. What has been the key in that stretch?
We've been taking care of business. Our pitchers have been solid on the mound. Our hitters have been consistent. They've been getting ahead early in the game and continue to put runs on the board. And then defensively, we've had some phenomenal play from our middle infielders, our outfielders, great dives, great heads-up play. And when you're doing all three things pretty well, you're going to get the outcomes.
As a group, your Hawkeyes carried big bats in East Lansing. How do you keep that going this week?
We've got to continue to get back to work and talk about hitting good pitches and letting the bad ones go. We have a tendency to get a little anxious. We did that on Sunday, a little over-anxious, and swung early in the count. We've got to get deeper in counts and force that pitcher to bring the ball up in the zone. And when we do, that's when we produce runs.
Thanks, Coach Looper, and good luck to the Hawkeyes this week.
Thank you very much.
Coach, tell us a little bit about the Musco Meet. Another great event, a lot going on in Iowa City, and that was certainly a highlight.
Yes, I think I was asking you about the end of the meet. I sort of savored the end of the meet. Just personal note, here we are down in a wetland, and we made something kind of special down there. As the fireworks were shooting off, it kind of reminded me of the Field of Dreams. All the headlights were coming down the street. I wish I had a picture of that. They're really coming from the wrestling. And so I would have redone that picture and made it look like it was the people coming to the track meet, or going from the track meet, but they were coming down from the wrestling, and the fireworks were going off. And I was thinking, here in this dark corner of Iowa City, we've got Musco lights lighting it up. We've got a video board, showing highlights. It's kind of special to me that happened down there.
What are you loading up for the Drake Relays, or what can we expect to really excel at?
Well, it would be sure great if we could do something like we did last year, where last year Bethany Praska anchored the women's sprint medley, and moments later Eric Sawinski with an 800 anchored the men's sprint medley, and the announcer, when he interviewed the kids afterwards, confirmed that I guess this is why they do call it the Hawkeye State, since we won both those back to back. So, I think we'll have good sprint medleys once again. Our 4x4s are going to be terrific, and that's always a highlight, I think, at the Drake Relays. We'll have a lot of opportunities to showcase our athletes there.
Coach Wiz, thanks for joining us this morning, and good luck at Drake.
Thanks, Darren. My pleasure.
We're joined this morning on This Week on Iowa with University of Iowa women's golf coach Megan Menzel. Coach, we've had some momentum coming 2 weeks ago at in Arizona, winning a team championship. How do you hope to use that springboard into the Big Ten Conference Championships?
It was a very exciting week, great team performance. Christy Cardwell, our junior, played really well, finished second in the event, and had one round of 68. So that just motivates the whole team, I think, to see some red numbers.
It'll be your first Big Ten championship as well. What sort of emotions do you have as you head to Indiana?
I'm really excited. I've really enjoyed being in the conference. Last week was special to be at Ohio State with all the Big Ten, and it's just a conference that has a ton of class, great players, and really good coaches. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Coach, thanks for joining us this morning, and great luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
University of Iowa baseball coach Jack DAHM joins us today on This Week on Iowa. Coach, you just played Bradley at home last Wednesday. Do you have a pretty good idea what to expect today?
Yeah, we have a lot better feeling for their program and for their team. They were swinging the bat extremely well coming in, and we had not played Bradley in the previous 7 or 8 years, and so we got a lot better feel for them.
How are the young guys developing this year?
Very well. If you look, we're excited to have some young guys in the lineup and some talented guys. We have a freshman, Jake Yasinich, at shortstop. He's playing very well. Jake Mangler at second base is hitting 3-hole, driving in a lot of runs for us, and a very good defensive player. He's only got 1 error. We've got the freshman Eric Toole in center field, playing there on an everyday basis now, and had a great 4-for-4 game on Friday and drove in the 4th run on Sunday. That was a big run for us. So those guys are doing very well. Then you look at the rest of those pitchers, Taylor Kaufman, Nick Hibbing, Ryan Rumpf. We've got a very talented freshman class.
You heard it, Hawkeye fans. This is Jack DAHM coming to us on This Week on Iowa. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Darren.
We're joined on This Week on Iowa with Iowa rowing coach Mandy Kowal. Coach, big successful weekend down in Alabama. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it sure was. I mean, it feels great winning. We've been beat up a little bit. We have a young squad, and the Big Ten is roaring fast. So we've had our hands full, for a few weeks now. Alabama, I think what I was most pleased with was each crew putting their best race to date. And with that came some pretty fast times.
You hear oftentimes coaches, regardless of the sport, talk about how important consistency is. Must be nice for you to see that out of your team now.
Yeah, it's great. You know, one of the cornerstones and foundation of this group in the winter was their consistency of practice and just going after it. And day in and day out, we had more practices that were good than were bad. We had a little bit of a, you know, lull, 4 weeks of frustration on our first few weeks of the water, being on the water in the spring season. The great thing, I was thinking on the drive over, what I really like about this group is their resiliency. You know, the frustration level was pretty high. I think everybody had different ideas of how the spring was going to go. And for them, we kind of worked through it and then showed up at Alabama and really put some great races together.
The Hawkeyes will be in Indianapolis this weekend. If any fans out there, I know they would love to have the support. And thanks for joining us this morning, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.